We're live. It's Monday. The media pulse that is Rich Lieberman live here on YouTube. And if you're watching live, congrats. Welcome to the party. If you're watching at a later time, I thank you for coming on board. I talk and comment and occasionally report about various Bay Area media, whether it's sports, whether it's news, whether it's entertainment. We talk about trends, we talk about various developments, so forth, and so forth, and all that. So, a couple of you folks alluded to what took place on Sunday, the point after program, which usually follows the 49ers broadcast. If they're on Fox Channel 2, they have a local KTVU produced show that used to have some various credible people, like a Joe Fonzi, a Mark Ibanez, Jason Applebaum, I think it was his name, Gary Park. Years and years ago, they didn't call it the point after, but they had reputable people. And it was a post-game show after the 49ers would play. Now, what took place on Sunday was such a disgrace, such an embarrassment. And I laughed, then I kind of shook my head. I wasn't even going to talk about it because it was just so pathetic, so repulsive. But, many of you wanted my opinion, wanted me to comment. There had been comments and some emails directed my way. And I got a few texts from people saying, "Did you see what I see? Did you watch the 49?" Normally, I wouldn't be watching. First off, a disgrace in and of itself that they have a practice game, an exhibition, they would call it, where they charge people the regular price as if it was a real game, which it isn't, obviously. And, what a disgrace, talking about disgrace, embarrassment, et cetera, that the NFL, by the way, in part with the 49er, any pro team, to take part in that travesty and to charge people who are morons. Really, I understand you have to buy these garbage tickets to buy season tickets. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that. So I'm watching the point after that pathetic, horrible, whatever game, scrimmage, wasn't even that. And they have this Bailey O'Connell on. I don't know what she does. I know why they hired her, Channel 2, because I guess they want attention. They want some degree of focus. So they have this. She dresses like she's a hooker. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call it out and say it for what it is. She's a disgrace. But more than that, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She's utterly lost. So it's almost like, how could you do this? Here you are, a major market station, even in this screwed up environment we are amongst these days. You put this on. You put this on. Who watches this crap? Well, I had to, I guess. I saw it and it was such a disgrace. It's not even funny, unintentionally or otherwise. Then you have Sal Castaneda. Sal, really, Sal, this is what you become. You have to feed the family, I guess, Sal. And look, Sal, we've known each other off and on for a while. We kind of were the upcomers in the Bay Area media many, many moons ago. And you obviously you're a good politician in some respects, and that's not a knock on you. You're able to compartmentalize, do things, do the corporate thing. I understand, you got to feed the family and all that. And, you do your little traffic reports in the morning, occasionally do some reporting. But you take part in this circus, in this travesty. You couldn't tell anybody, hey, look, you know what? I'm trying to just do my job as the traffic anchor in the morning. I don't want to do this. It would be so out of place. Look, Sal, I understand you've got to keep your gig, but what? They're going to fire you if you don't want to take part in this crapola and this less than mediocrity disgrace, this pathetic, absolutely beyond scope of anything relevant, anything straightforward, incredible. And I'm surprised the 49ers allow this to take place. 49ers should, you know, you're going to allow this travesty, this horrible, and they do have, by the way, folks, they do have uh, part of their contractual obligations, the means to look at a program and to have a check mark that it's okay by their whatever. I don't know how exactly what they call it, but to allow this to take place, I don't know. That's very embarrassing. The NFL, they're in the mode of just making money these days. If they could put on a program at 4:30 in the morning, a football game anywhere, and it makes money, they don't give a shit about anything else. They should be aware and sensitive about their product, about their contact and content, but they don't give a shit. So obviously, the few powers that be locally, I would be absolutely embarrassed beyond all means to allow this travesty to take place. And again, I understand the reality of the world that we're in, that it's all you got to have a woman, you got to have a young woman. But some of these women, they do know what the hell they're talking about. They do have a provocative wardrobe, but at least have the wherewithal, knowledge to talk and to interact and to do various things with, a decent amount of knowledge of what they're discussing. You know, I'll give you a case in point. Maria Taylor on NBC during their football night in America, and before Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth do their thing on Sunday Night Football. It's the number one ranked show in all of television. And they have Maria Taylor, who's very attractive, very credible, doesn't dress like a hooker, doesn't act like a complete moron. And I don't give a shit if it's a guy, a woman, Asian, black, yellow, whatever, brown. At least they have some degree of credibility and they have a modicum of intelligence. And if they don't, they're able to fake it. This Bailey O'Connell, are you kidding me? Can't fake it. She's a disgrace. More than that, you want to know the real disgrace? Are the people who let her on the air. Now, I could talk ad nauseum about what she does beyond the 49ers point after, but I don't even want to give her that kind of credit nor discuss her with any kind of attention because it's not worth it. It's so ridiculous. It's so pathetic. We all know why she's there. We all know why she's there. Does that make it right? I don't think so. But Sal Castaneda, I thought you had a little bit of responsibility, of care about what you do, Sal, and you allow this. And I'm sorry, Sal. No excuses. But back to what I was just going to say, the people that let this moron, this female idiot, to talk about things, the NFL, she has no idea what the hell she's talking about. It's a disgrace. This is how sad KTVU is. They basically let go of all their sports people, which is bizarre in and of itself. Here you have a Fox station whose network carries Fox or NFL football games and baseball. They are a sports oriented network. So to let go and not to give a shit about local sports and to have and allow this travesty to take place, I shake my head, but then I understand that nothing anymore shocks me. Hell, they could have gone out to any shopping center, Fox 2, KTVU, and picked up anybody, put them on the air. They're allow this travesty to take place. Again, folks, it just shows you. I don't give a shit sometimes about my backdrop, about what I say and all that. You should be fortunate. I'm going to toot my own horn here in a second, but you ought to be fortunate that you have somebody out there that will at least discuss this and rip it and critique it and out it for all the idiocy that it is. Nobody does it. That's not me being holier than thou. It's just stating a fact. It is a disgrace beyond every other disgrace that the programming immediately following the 49ers practice crap against the Saints, took place. And yeah, I know about Julie Hayner's son and all that. And Julie Hayner was there to watch her son take part in that crap fest. That, again, in and of itself is a disgrace. But nothing even remotely near the idiocy and downright beyond embarrassment catastrophe that was the point after with Sal Castaneda and Bailey O'Connell. I'm sure that's her real name too, by the way. Maybe she's protecting her real identity so people won't go after her in terms of saying, how the fuck did you make it on television? Oh, wait a minute. I know. Nothing wrong with that. That's the world and the age in which we live in. But again, wouldn't it be nice if you knew what the hell you were talking about and didn't look like an out and out fucking moron? I shake my head and I try to go and look for any kind of sense, but there is no sense here. There's no responsibility, and nobody gives a shit anymore. Otherwise, if anybody gave a shit, they would not have allowed to take place what took place after the 49ers game yesterday. I'll say one thing. At least it was better than the game. What game?